Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective. I am your host, Lance, my good homie, Jordan.
Yo.
And we here to talk about The Simpsons.
What?
This is all right. I'm like, this is not what I expected to talk about, but I did think this was interesting. I'll read this. So The Simpsons is going anime for a Death Note tribute. And it looks good. It looks all right.
I mean, I've never I didn't grow up watching The Simpsons. I mean, to this day, I've seen clips and bits and pieces, but like I've never actually watched The Simpsons.
Yeah,
like I would watch this
because
it looks good.
It's so they're doing a kind of like a, I guess you can't call it a trilogy, sort of, but they're gonna be paying homage to 3 different kind of shows. One of them is Westworld, if you're a Westworld fan, which is like sci-fi. And then also they're going to be doing Badabook, which is like Babadook, which is like a horror movie or whatever.
Horror, kind of, yeah.
Right. So it's weird because like I'm glad they're doing it because it looks good. But like I said, I told you, I heard another TikTok creator said we're probably running out of ideas because like Simpsons fans. You've never really seen them leave their animation style. Yeah, they've left their style of story, or they've like had little mini arcs or whatever because it's The Simpsons.
And like whatever prophet was foretelling the future and writing for The Simpsons,
facts
must have left because I'm telling you, so many crazy things that The Simpsons predicted.
The Simpsons we might need to call like the FBI on The Simpsons.
Yeah, right. So. I'm like, what was y'all into? Like,
right.
Like who behind the scenes? Yeah, who behind the scenes was leaking classified information to the Simpsons writers?
So like I think so that's also part of like they're so creative that it is cool for them to see them do like a Death Note rendition. It's cool to see Homer. Not that he's not Homer, less yellow Homer. I think that's super cool. One question I want to ask you, and I know I'm putting you on the spot too. I should have told you this before the pod. What are maybe some other shows like how The Simpsons are that you would like to see animated in a different or more like anime style, even if they're from live action shows to any other cartoons that exist?
Literally, I don't know why, but the first thing that came to mind was what was that? Kids Next Door. What was that?
What was
the name of that show?
I think it's Kids Next Door. That's the one, the spy one, right?
Yeah, the spy one.
Yeah,
from like back in the 90s.
Yeah,
or whenever that was. I don't know why that came to my head.
That
first.
would be cold.
That would be fun. So that one would be cool.
Codename Kids
Next Door. Yeah, okay. Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
So that one would be fun. I don't know why, but I feel like that one would be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun, actually.
I'm trying to think what other things.
I was gonna say I'll throw one out. So I know they did the live action reboot. It was a reboot of an old show, but Fresh Prince. But I'd like to see Fresh Prince animated,
cool. Yeah.
like
I can that.
Slice of Life style. Like that would be super cool.
I can see that for sure. Oh man, what else? Like, it would be a good one. That would be dope. Animated is it was blown up on Netflix. It's called in Spanish. It's called Casa de Papel. In English, it was called The Heist.
Oh yes.
So it was like the Spanish show about like them robbing the national treasury and then the Spanish mint and then stuff like that. Like that would be dope animated because it's just like your classic like bank robbery kind of show.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be dope animated.
Would have been really cool animated. Actually, are they doing this? No. So we know that the Duffy Brothers, Stranger Things creators, they're working on a live action. I believe we talk about Death Note? Not Death Note. They're working on. I think it is Death Note, but either which way, it would be cool to see.
Yeah, what are they working on?
I should look it up first before I give my big thought.
Yeah,
Duffy Brothers.
Yeah, because I remember hearing they were working on something.
The Duffy Brothers. I think it is. So they're gonna do the Death Note.
Okay.
For a Netflix adaptation.
That'd be dope.
And we know how I think it'll look cool because they know how to make Stranger Things look cool. But I would like to see Stranger Things like anime style could be really cool.
Yeah. Another one that I just thought of was the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, that would be first of all, they would get the powers right. They would do the powers justice in the anime as opposed to like,
because like I'm like 3 episodes into the last season.
Yes.
It's booty.
Yes. We binged it and it was like, you know what? The thing about that is Chris, when Chris was on the pod, she talked about it and she described it perfectly. It was like the second season was so bad that the third season was like, okay, we gonna get through this. It's all right. I understand what's going on. This isn't gonna be great,
which is so sad because it's a super great. It's a great story, and like the first season was like came out of nowhere.
Yes,
like because I mean like I had never heard of it, and if you have heard of it, I mean you probably lying.
Right, you did not read
it was like a comic book.
Novel,
it was like a comic book graphic novel kind of joint, and like it wasn't mainstream, like it wasn't super popular, like it had like a small, like kind of like cult following.
Yeah,
and they did a live action, and the first season was like, "Yo, this is fire!"
Yes,
like,
yeah,
and then the second and third seasons were just like, "This is very disappointing."
Yeah,
because you had a great concept. And he executed so well in the first season, and then
very
like,
well.
Wow, this is
and then
letdown.
Took a poop.
Yeah,
and then lost
really
money.
Did. Yeah, they really did. And I'm like, how you going? Well, part of the problem is it's Netflix,
right?
And as soon as Netflix feels like, as soon as they feel the tide shifting, even the slightest, they're like, cancel that mug,
right? Yeah,
and so because I mean, they have plenty of shows on the Netflix that they just get tired of. And they're like, oh, our viewer count dropped a little bit. Let's just cut the show.
You're right, because by TV standards, the shows that Netflix have been canceling would have not been canceled. Like a lot of those shows. There was a show I liked. It's like paranormal or whatever, but it was called Archive 81.
Okay.
And it was, again, this would also be really cool as an anime. But like it was a show surrounding this dude who's investigating this cult or whatever, and it has to do with like time travel and stuff like that. So, and it was like, if you look it up on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 85% Rotten Tomatoes right now. And then they canceled it after the first season. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta relax. Somebody hit the button too fast.
Yeah, right.
Send an email like this. No.
That's so true. That's so true.
Another one I'll add in there is speaking of like magic and stuff or whatever. Harry Potter would be cool like anime style. Sure. I ain't gonna lie. But like Japanese anime style. So like you literally transliterate all the characters to be like Japanese, like in that style. I think that could be really cool. It'd be, and even if you gave it like a not fairy tale, what's up? Black Clover kind of edge.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think that could be really cool.
So yeah, they actually are animating one that I'm super hype about. Is they're animating a Lord of the Rings show?
Yeah. Oh,
so
yes.
It's called War of the Rohirrim. Hopefully they do it well because I love Lord of the Rings. Like I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nut.
Yeah.
And so like I'm super excited for that because like there's so much potential.
Yes.
And like Lord of the Rings, there's actually a couple animated movies. Like I don't know if people really know this. But like back in, I want to say like the early 2000s, they came out with an animated Hobbit, and then I think they animated all 3 of the books in movies.
I think, I should look it up.
And Loki and the Dross of Fire. And I feel like there's so much content, so much potential in like the Lord of the Rings universe that they could animate it well. Because I mean, you think about Star Wars and what what Disney did. Star Wars Visions.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you take shows like Lord of the Rings or even I know you're not like a huge watcher, but if you take like Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire, those kind of Middle Earth, and if you like
epic fantasy type shows,
right? Animating them is only going to give you them more creative, like leverage and ability to do different things. Like,
because I mean, you think about it, like fantasy, sci-fi stuff always is better animated because you can do more things.
Yeah,
because you ain't got to worry about the realism.
Yeah,
because like, you don't have to make a real person stretch.
Right. Or even just like settings wise, right? I remember there was an episode of Game of Thrones that people was really pissed about because it was so dark.
Sure.
The episode was so dark.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
and people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so dark." And I thought about that. Like thinking about it now, I'm like, you've never heard nobody say this anime episode is too dark.
Yeah, right.
It's like, no, they're doing a really good job of capturing the mystery, the mystique, or just like how unclear things could be in the battlefield. But because if it's live action, you get a different level of criticism and stuff. And so I agree with you. I think like even just on that scale as well. But man,
they should also animate The Witcher. I think.
There is one.
Is there one?
Netflix. I think the animated Witcher came out before the live action.
Oh, really? Okay.
And let me double check because I think that one was actually dope.
The Witcher was fire.
Witcher's fire.
I like played the first game a little bit, but like I never really got into it. But like the story's cool. And then while you're looking that up, another one.
I know I'm thinking about the video game.
Yeah,
but do they have it?
The video games are good though. I mean, they're classic RPGs.
Oh, they do have an animated series.
You know,
came out
what I just thought of?
Came out 2021.
That would be fire. Fable.
Ooh, that
they should do a Fable so anime.
Cold. That would be cold.
See, Fable.
That would be like.
Fable is the only reason I ever owned an Xbox.
Yeah. It's good, man.
I'm not a Microsoft. I mean, I'm not a Microsoft hater or anything. I just don't like Xbox.
Right.
Like I've never really liked Xbox. Because I'm a huge RPG fan, and they've never had the best RPG exclusives, never.
Right.
Except Fable.
Yeah.
And like I loved Fable.
Yeah,
like,
that would be dope.
Yeah,
that would be really dope. I think
like I would buy an Xbox, whatever the current generation is, if they released a new Fable.
Yeah. Man, wow, that's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. So, not to take away from the Simpsons, if you watching this and you're like, I want to learn more about the Simpsons, we gave you the information that you came for. Right. You just stayed because you like what we were talking about. And I'm definitely gonna watch that. I think it's coming out the 30th. It's coming out the 30th
this month or next month?
This month.
Oh,
so it's coming out.
Right. That's like
a few days from when we're recording. Right. So this will probably. I'm about to see if I can drop this tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Because just get ahead. But like all I have to say is I look forward to it. I would like for more studios to approach animated studios to give them more looks, because I think you can stretch the creativity. Sorry.
Well, and I'm saying, and nowadays, anime is blowing up
without a doubt.
Like every streaming service is realizing how lucrative anime is. So like Disney's hopping on the streaming train.
Of course.
Netflix has been on the streaming train for a little bit now.
Mm-hmm.
Crunchyroll's buying up everything they can.
Yep.
Every single day I feel like I see a new ad like H Dive. I never heard of H Dive before like 3 weeks ago. Like right. H Dive is a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, streaming services realize that, and businesses and these media companies realize that anime is a juggernaut that they need to get involved in.
And it's gonna be unstoppable.
It is, yeah. I mean, you think about like this generation, like this millennial,
right?
The Gen Z generation, our generation after us, they love the hell out of anime.
Yeah, and exactly. And also, like we talked about this before, there's no shame in it. Like there's no. It's almost like the inside joke we're telling more people about.
Yeah.
So everybody's starting to kind of get on the boat with it, and so I think it's not going to be, companies aren't going to be clueless when it comes to this kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's just a matter of time. We see all of the stuff that we talked about, all the titles that we traded to start just become more and more animated, which, hey man, I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Name of the show.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, that's all I got on this. But y'all know the slogan, stay colorful. Peace.